Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Ski the Kingdom show. This is our podcast series where we're looking to give more coverage, more awareness and more exposure to all the great things that are going on within the UK snowsports scene. This week's episode is part 2 in our series all about getting a career in the snowsports media, so let's get right into this week's episode. Firstly, a roundup of some of the highlights from this week's activity within the UK snowsports community, and you can't have missed the trailer for Legs of Steel's new film, Same Difference. We'll put the trailer in the description below if you haven't seen it already. It's great to see the UK's Paddy Graham, along with the whole of Legs of Steel crew, working on another big cinematic project. It's got all the cinematic quality you'd expect from Legs of Steel. There's huge jumps and also a bit of ski racing as well, which is really cool to see, and just the usual standard of madness that you'd expect from the Legs of Steel crew. This year's film is called Same Difference and described as a film all about skiers. So perhaps there's a few more stories behind the film this year, which is great to see along with all the action, and we just can't wait to see the film when it's released. Last week, we talked about Max Rye's entry to the Kevin Salonius Backyard Summer Rail competition, and really exciting news this week to hear that Max placed second overall, so huge congrats, Max. We know that so much hard work went into not only building the setup and the rails, but also hiking it all summer and just getting the footage for the competition. And it's a great thing as well because you see a lot of backyard edits from the United States and Canada, but you don't see too many from the UK, so it was great that Max was able to make such an impact as a UK skier on that world stage. So huge congrats, Max, and I'm sure it's not the last we'll see of footage from your backyard setup, so look forward to that too. And lastly, it's been great to see a lot of UK skiers head out to take their jump tricks they've been practicing in the UK all summer onto the bigger jumps on the glaciers. If you haven't seen Tom Greenway's latest Instagram clip, we've put it in the description below. It's awesome to see Tom bringing so much style to his jumps at the moment and just super excited for what the winter holds in store for him. So this week is part 2 in our series of advice and tips on getting a career within the snowsports media. Last week, I headed down to Southampton Dry Ski Slope to catch up with top UK ski journalist Peter Davies during the Spenser Pession Race Camps. So here's our interview. So it's day 2 on the Spenser Pession Race Camp. I'm here with Pete Davies. Pete, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us all we've got going on at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm Pete Davies. I'm a freelance journalist by trade, but I also do a bit of coaching like this on the side. Like camps like this are great because it's like great to see the grassroots like racing and kids of different ages and abilities and backgrounds coming in and having good fun for a good week. Yeah, it's good fun.
Perfect. We're down at Southampton Ski Slope right now. It's a beautiful sunny day, which is on the break for lunch. Tell us what's been going on so far in the camp, what you're working on and what's going on in the camp.
So we have 2 sides to the camp. We have all the technique and slalom and dual slalom, GS and things like that. So on slope work, we like break it down. We do a lot of video work. Like we analyse all the different aspects of skiing that we want to have a look at to improve the kids. And then we have the fitness side of things. So we take the kids off the slope. We do a lot of running, athletics track we have here, cross country, rollerblading, all sorts of things that can improve their balance, agility, all components that to be just an all-round sports person, and it'll help them when they get on the ski slope. So yeah, no, that's one of the best things about this camp. It's not just focused on purely just skiing. It's all different aspects.
That's really cool. I think we were talking earlier, you kind of, as you walk into the slope and you kind of see a lot of UK slopes are just an index slope and that's it. This has kind of got so much around it that it is really the perfect place for ski training and just enjoying being a skier. Yeah,
we're really lucky with the facilities here that we can sort of go and use the athletics track. There's loads of fields and open space. So we're not just contained into one space. We also go swimming. There's a swimming pool up near the top of the hill as well. So we've got everything at our disposal. And we're lucky we've got a good group of coaches that can sort of chop and change and work on different things, keeping it fresh. And the kids can, learn lots of different skills rather than just skiing. It's really good fun.
We were chatting with one of the coaches, Spenser, I guess he's the main coach a minute ago, and he was almost kind of saying how this is sort of a stepping stone for recreational skiers and sort of new racers to get more into the sport. You're someone hugely experienced in racing, how would you advertise this camp to maybe people that are thinking about racing and how this can help them get into to be more serious and compete on the artificial scene?
Yeah, I think if you want to take your skiing to the next level, so you can do parallel skiing and things like that, and you want to sort of start doing things competitively a little bit, or just improve your technique a lot more, I think this is a great camp to do that. We have a big range of ability. We have kids that are like very good, they're top of their like age group in the regionals. And then we have other kids that have never raced before. So the good thing is we split them off in 2 groups, and it's like all ability based, and we can really work on different abilities and focus on different exercises that suit that skier. It's not just tailored to a whole different group. We can focus on individuals as well, and it's really like we can break it down and work on different things. And I think overall, even day 2 here, like we're already seeing the improvements, which is really, really good. It means that we're doing our job right.
You could almost see it. I was out watching it with the video app a minute ago with the iPad and kind of watching the runs, and it was really cool to see how the kids run to run were making a real improvement, which was awesome to see and really exciting that in just a short space of time they can make that. Just I guess with the quick laps as well, kind of they're going and they're lapping the slope every minute. It's a real advantage of the UK.
Yeah, it's good because most of the kids aren't used to coaching. There's a difference between coaching and instructing, so we're not always demonstrating what to do, and we're not always trying to shape them all the time. We let them have a bit of space, a little bit of run. We let them have a few runs, and then we start correcting things. I think one of the main things I've seen over the years is like over-information, over-coaching. The kids, they sort of self-learn themselves, especially at a young age. You just let them go out and do it. Give them the instructions, see how they do, and if there's things that are majorly different that you want them to stop doing, then you start correcting it. But I think we're all on the same page here. We've got a good team of coaches that understand that we're patient, we let them breathe a little bit, and then we rein them in when we can.
Sounds the perfect kind of way to be coached. And I guess there's a huge experiences here as well from the artificial scene. There's yourself, there's Spenser, there's always people. But people, maybe more recreational skiers or freestylers that don't know too much about the artificial race scene, how would you describe it to them? What would you say?
It's very inclusive, very sociable. There's dry slopes up and down the country, as you know, for the freestyle scene. I'm pretty sure where there's a freestyle team, there's also a race team somewhere. And it's quite accessible as well. It's much cheaper than the snow domes, I'd say, the dry slopes. That's probably one of the main factors. There's regional races, there's national races, and then there's the championships as well. So there's a lot on the calendar through the summer. And then during the winter, there's a few races as well. But most of the people will obviously want to be on the mountains in the snow doing the real thing. But during the summer, so you could ski all year round, doing races on snow, then races in the summer. That's the great thing about it. You can keep using those skills through the summer, and dry slope's still a good facility to have. You can see like Dave riding, he learned how to ski on a dry slope. He even said to himself in quite a few interviews that if he learned a lot of his technique through the dry slope, having to drive on the flats and sticky matting and things like this. He had to push. And now when there's like a flat on the World Cup, he still used that same skill set, which just shows someone that nearly won a World Cup race this season doesn't matter. You know, skills are still transferable, which is really great. And I think it's really inspiring for the kids to see someone like that who's skied on the same slopes and done the same races, and he's achieved something as high as that. So it's all about hard work, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you put the hard work in, you get the rewards.
I was going to say it's been a real breakout season for Dave, and obviously you were there documenting it with your journalistic role. What kind of impact has that had, kind of Dave's success? Have you noticed a change when it comes to artificial races? Is there a change of mindset, or are people just more engaged? What have you seen?
So Dave always had a good following anyway, but it has just opened it up to the mainstream, especially with his second place in Kitzbühel, one of the toughest hills in the world. And he beat Marcel Hirscher on the first run, and he's a phenomenal athlete, and was unlucky not to win it, if I'm honest. And he's just a nice guy as well. He's just approachable, and he's a good ambassador for the sport. He comes to the grassroots. He communicates with the kids and says the right things. And he's just a funny guy. And I think it has opened up. I've noticed it especially with Aldershot. We've got a waiting list of like 40 people, We can only take a certain amount of people, but that's just come on through the winter through publicity because the results are there. People are starting to notice that there's a bit of a team going with the GB squad, and things are starting to get going the right direction. Whereas in the past we weren't so much of a team and working together. And I think Dave's success has brought us more together and more of a spirit in the British skiing, which is great.
I guess fingers crossed for him this year with Pyeongchang and...
Yeah, so it's an Olympic year as well, so I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot more exposure for skiing and snow sports in general.
Fantastic. Outside of all of this as well, your main role is you're a journalist. You do lots in the ski world, lots outside of it as well. Give us a little bit of an insight. If you followed you on Instagram, you kind of saw your fun pictures last year, working with Lindsey Vonn, being all across Europe, travelling. Talk us through your last winter and what it's like being a ski journalist.
Yeah, so I worked mainly with Neil McCoy, who's the editor of Racer Ready, and I owe him so much to give me this opportunity to go out and follow the World Cup, and it was fantastic. And I learned a lot from him, he learned a lot from me. I did lots of different things like video, writing, bit of audio stuff as well. And yeah, so as you said, I interviewed Lindsey Vonn, got to interview Marcel Hirscher, Christopherson, all these people. And what you notice is that they're just hugely determined people. Just whether in the gym or on the slope, they're very professional. It's like any top athlete, you've got to have that dedication. It's their lives. And they're just regular people as well. They're just really down to earth. They know that they're very good to the media. They know that we got to do a job, and we end up respecting them a bit more because they give us the time. And then when they do have a bad day, we're not so harsh on them. We'll still ask the cutting question, but it's a bit more like, not in your face sort of thing. And it was a good working relationship between the athletes and the media, which was probably the main thing that I noticed. Whereas I'd say something like Premier League football, I think the footballers, rightly so, sometimes the journalists are out to get them sort of thing, because they are huge personalities in the world. They're earning lots of money, but that's not their fault, that's supply and demand. People want to see football, so the money's there. Doesn't mean they should be hunted and hounded for their personal things. And I think that was the main thing in skiing, where there's a lot more humble, a lot more down to earth, better relationships between both sides, which was really cool.
It's awesome to hear. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat. I really appreciate it, especially when you're busy coaching.
It's great to see you, Jack, as ever. And it's great to see that both like the freestyle side and the race side, there's a lot of crossover there. I think we did an interview with Pat Sharples before I went out during the winter, and he did say we can be apart, but we can still be together, sort of thing. We can still cheer each other on, but they are two different sports. We don't have to be one big giant team. The freestyle guys don't need to do half the technique stuff that we need to do, but there's still elements like the fitness and things like this still the same. So it's great that snow sports in this country is starting to push on.
Hopefully just the start of big things to come.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you so much. Where can we keep up with what you're up to the rest of this summer and next winter as well? Where can we follow you?
So I've got my own Twitter account at PeterDav93. You should subscribe to Racer Ready as well. So look up Racer Ready Ski Magazine. They have a print magazine and online as well, so you can subscribe there. I also do some blogs for Wells Snowsports Ski Shop. So check that out, and I've got my own personal Instagram account with cool pictures from the winter, so check those out at PeterDavies93.
So thank you very much for your time last week, Pete. We're really excited to see what this winter holds in store for you. And for next week's episode, we're not actually going to be in the UK. Myself and Will Tucker from Ski the Kingdom are heading out to Zermatt in Switzerland to catch up with all the UK skiers that are out there on the glacier at the moment. If you've got any feedback or questions from this week's episode, please put them in the description below or get in touch with me. Jack@skithekingdom.co.uk is my email. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.